What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Drone Buzz. We're going live in just 2 minutes. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the show. We've got a good one set up today, don't we, Chris?
I think so. We've got Geeksvana joining us today shortly. Any minute we see him there standing by, and can't wait to talk to him. Get some stuff from the other side of the pond, which is always fun.
Absolutely. And we've got two giveaways. We're going to start right off with one. So we're giving away a $50 gift card from Banggood and a $100 gift card from Banggood. They're, of course, running a Christmas sale, and they asked us to promote it, and we said, sure. But you got to give our viewers something. So they're giving us a couple of gift cards. So the first one we're going to do right now. We'll do the second one later in the show. We've got a little contest. So if you want to win that one, hopefully you're brushed up on your drone knowledge. All right, I've got my old school half chrome hat. We're going to pull a name out of the hat. So our patrons, our VIP patrons, I think we have total 8 patrons. So pretty decent odds here. Actually, I think it's VIP patrons for this one here, the ones that are in our giveaways. So I think it's like 1 out of 6 chance to win. Great odds. We give away a drone at least once a month. This is the second time we're doing a giveaway for our patrons, and it's RB, which Roman is our winner. I'll have to look up his last name. It's long, but congrats, Roman. He's our first winner today. $50 Banggood gift card coming his way. So that's a lot of fun, huh?
And we're going to do the second giveaway at the end of the show. Is that right, Jack?
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it after we talk to Geeksvana, and we'll talk deals and stuff. We'll do it at the very end, I think. So if we forget, don't let us.
Okay.
So
before we bring him on, did we want to do? I know you got on the agenda there the question of the day at the end. Did we want to jump into that already?
Yeah, because I think we're going to talk to him about it too. I think so. You want to talk about question of the day? What is the question of the day, Chris?
Yeah, just so to remind everybody, the idea of this is you guys submit us questions. If we can't get it today, throw it up on the chat. If we can't get to it today, we will save it and we will research it. Even if we can get to it today, but we don't know the best answer, we will research it and discuss it in our next live stream. So that's the idea. And their first question actually comes from somebody, not from one of you guys, but from somebody we sold a Mavic to recently. And their question was, is there any reason why I don't want to register my drone? And kind of an interesting question, right? Of course, as experts in the field, our answer should be, of course, you should register it. But that's like the vanilla legal answer. I think it's a really good question. Is there a reason, Jack, why you might not want to register your drone actually?
I mean, I don't think so, right? The really only advantage, well, there are two, right? You're going to save yourself $5. But if you've already registered one drone, you don't have to pay $5 every time, right? It's just $5 per pilot, and you register drones on that. Is that correct?
Oh boy, Jack. Wrong? So this guy passed the test today.
It was not on the test. The test is full of useless things. The Part 107 we're talking about. It's not really useful information.
Okay, so yes, you need to register. Each drone is $5 in the US. We'll learn about the UK in a minute here. It's $5 per drone, still not a big deal. Most people don't have a bunch of 500 gram plus drones they need to register. They ask you the model number, a serial number, actually. They do ask you that, which makes you wonder why you need to put a unique ID on the outside of the drone anyway. And so you put in some real basic, takes 5 minutes, costs $5. My answer is yes, go ahead and register it. I think the practical reason is, well, obviously, if you do crash it and cause an accident, it's going to be easier for them to track you down and find you. But I mean, if everything's on the up and up, you should be doing things legally or at least safely. Let's put it that way. And so, it's good to have that kind of traceability. The real reason, though, is in the United States, the FAA, while the FAA is not walking down the street looking at me flying my drone because, they're in an office somewhere or, guiding air traffic or something, police, they're training police to look for a sticker on the outside of the drone. Now, I don't know if you could write, QWERTY, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the outside, and a cop probably wouldn't know the difference, but they are looking for those registration stickers. I mean, I would say go ahead and do it. The other thing is, if you fly commercially, some customers might be asking to confirm that you are legit in all ways possible, before they'll hire you, and that, along with being certified like Jack now is, and I am, that makes you legit.
Yeah. So, and they're going to track you down anyway, right? So if you land on LAX, it does not matter if that thing is registered; they will find you. So, let's bring Sean on. Yeah,
let's do it.
All right, hey, Sean, welcome to the stream. We've got Geeksvana from across the pond joining us today. How's it going?
The color wheel here too.
Yeah, indeed. We should have synced all of our lights just before, just so everyone thinks we're in the same studio. Just a bit of social distancing. There's quite a few miles between us. I'm very good. Thanks a lot for inviting me along. It's always great to come along and meet new people as well.
Yeah, this is awesome. So you're in the UK, yes?
Yes, sir.
Or whereabouts?
Just outside of London, just the southwest of London.
Okay, and I imagine drone law is a little different for you than it might be for us, huh?
Yes, drone laws are very different, especially for hobbyists. Mm-hmm. Hobbyists, for instance, at the moment aren't allowed to fly in any kind of built-up area, even a village. So when we see flights in cities and towns and things and fairly close to buildings in the States, we get very jealous. But that's all about to change. Which is fantastic news. In a few days, on the 31st of December, we've got a whole new swathe of regulations coming in, which in the main give a lot more freedom. If you're willing to take a couple of exams and that type of thing, it gives a little bit more freedom. So it's exciting stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
What about me coming over there? Am I going to be able to take those tests?
Yes, you are. And in actual fact, they've, for the first time with these new regulations, they're actually going to have a foreign visitors handbook, essentially, a little 4-page PDF saying if you're this, you can do this, etc., and the things you need to do, which I think is very exciting, because that's actually one of the questions on our video series, which we're only about halfway through for the rules which come out in a couple of weeks. That is a common question that we were getting. Is I'm in France or I'm in the US. I come to the UK on holiday every couple of years. Of course, not at the moment, but can we fly there, etc. So I'm really thankful that they're opening things up and allowing foreign visitors to fly their drones in an easy way.
Yeah, we see you got that new strain over there. Reminds me of, have you seen 28 Days Later?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, taking out your island. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Yes,
So,
we are.
We're glad. That's why we brought you on this week, instead of next week.
Indeed.
Good stuff. So is there like currently, do you have to register your drones or just as a pilot, or what do you have to do?
Yes, we started here in the UK with that type of thing a year ago. It's actually called DMARES, DMARES. It's the Drone and Model Aircraft Registration and Education Scheme, because it isn't drone registration as such. It's based on the people again, and it's two stage. First of all, to be able to fly, you have to have a flyer ID, and you have to basically pass an exam which has 40 multiple choice questions. You've only got to get 30 correct to pass, and all of the answers are in the website. So really, they just want you to learn the basics. They're not trying to tax you. So it's kind of like a hobbyist's theory test. That lasts for 3 years and is free of charge. You then need a operator ID for your drones, and it's £9 per year, which is a little bit contentious because obviously it's quite a high fee in comparison to other countries. And that one, you basically register your details. You obviously say you take responsibility for the drone, and just like in the States, we have to put a little sticker on there to have our registration number on there, the operator ID. So yeah, it's still new to us. It's the first year, but it's proven fairly effective, I think, and certainly the uptake was fairly good. They had a policy here in the UK where anybody that was a member of our AMA, the BMFA, and that we have an FPV UK club as well, which has tens of thousands of members, and all of those members were effectively grandfathered in, and were able to get that within the fee of their membership, etc. So there was a few little tricks and things done to make it run smoothly.
Yeah, it's nice to know that you guys. I saw a comment here from Mike Drennan, about
yes, hi Mike.
Here, Jack just took the exam. So one of the things you have to learn, you have 3-4 questions on reading what's called here. Well, it's probably called the same thing there, the METAR weather codes.
Yes.
Which is this archaic system of communicating with the minimum possible bits of information to an airplane. What the weather is in a mixture of kilometers, feet, and statute miles. I mean,
it's nonsense.
I'm going to go on my phone and look at the weather.
Yes.
It's useless information to have to memorize that skill. And so it's great to know that at least you guys are moving in the right direction towards things that are useful.
Yeah, it is exciting, and with the qualification side of things, we have dropped as of the end of this year. It doesn't matter why you're flying. So the commercial side of things, our equivalent of the 107 was the PFCO. That's going away. So now it matters about what you're flying and where, and the risk of that flight, not actually why you're there. So that really answers that whole question and really pushes away a lot of cloudiness around the hobby, really. So now you are going to have a hobbyist with a Mavic Mini who is actually able to be paid to carry out that work with the right insurance without necessarily having any formal qualification. So it's all about the risk of the flight moving forward. And yeah, it is exciting because they, as Mike Drennan's quite rightly saying, they are also moving across to education and helping pilots and warning pilots rather than going straight in with enforcement. There's a very positive vibe around the hobby at the moment.
That's great.
That's good. The U.S. is set to institute a test for hobbyists, and I believe that's coming out soon, right? So I believe January 1st. So in my understanding is that test will be similar, where it's information, it's actual useful information, like how high can you fly, and distance between things, and don't fly over people and things like that. So that'll be good, right? We're also kind of dealing with this remote ID thing, which is set to come out, I believe, right after Christmas. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, and how those two things, they're definitely going to change the way people fly over here, or at least the way that people fly legally over here. So
indeed, yes, legally being the operative part there. As Peter H was saying in the chat, actually, that he sees that as of 1st of Jan, you have to register your sub 250 gram drones here. That is correct. If it will no longer matter the weight as such, it will matter if it can capture images. So from a privacy side of things, the Mavic Mini will have to be registered, but the Mavic Mini will be able to be flown over people and in congested areas and with minimal takeoff distances. So they have, in my opinion, been extremely fair and made a fantastic move to say this little 249 gram drone isn't going to cause any harm. So let's allow people to fly that pretty much in the increase in the areas it's going to be able to fly is incredible, frankly. And it's going to end up with a few Mavic Minis hitting people's picnics, I think, until people get used to the new freedoms. So I hope that doesn't undo the new generous nature of the CAA, but fingers crossed it'll be okay.
What's going to be the weight limit on flying over people?
Well, that differs, because we're having our drones are going to be coming in classes, so C0 to C4, and manufacturers by the end of 2022 will have to have a C0 to C4 sticker on their drone to sell them in the EU and the UK. Because of course we're coming out of the EU, so we're adopting the EU rules rather than sharing the exact rules. And that'll mean the C0 is a toy drone, C4 is a much heavier drone. So your Mavic Air 2 is probably going to be C1, C2 type of area, and depending on the drone you've got, plus the qualification you've got, plus the airspace you're in, it depends on what you can do. But we have a transitional period where we can fly all of our existing drones in a lot of cool airspace as well. So for instance, my Parrot Anafi, which is under 500 grams, because I have an A2 CFC qualification, it means that I'll actually be able to fly that as if it were a sub 250 gram drone. So I'll be able to fly that over people. So the long answer is 500 grams or the short answer, with the right qualification. But once the C0 to C4 markings come in, then it'll be a lot clearer, basically, because you'll have an A2 CFC qualification, a C1 or a C2 drone, and then the GVC, which is going to be essentially the new Part 107. But as I say, it's not commercially weighted; it's more weighted to allow you to fly even larger drones much closer to people, because of course you've got the experience and the qualification. So there's a lot of common sense there, I have to say.
I mean, it's great to see Europe and the UK taking leadership. If you think about aeronautical standards for airplanes, right? Obviously, there's a lot of global coordination there, and maybe the FAA can, take a hint here and follow suit, right?
Yeah, indeed. I think we all have to remember that we're all in it together as well. The US, the UK, EU. We've all got the specter of UTM around the corner in the next 5 to 10 years, and everything is moving towards that. So we're all going to be under remote ID and everything else like that. And I think within 10 years, certainly we'll see very, very similar, or very, very similar. Sorry, I should just say similar. My English teacher would slap me on the wrist there. We're going to see similar regulations.
You should be an expert. You're from the original country there.
Yeah, exactly right. If I can't speak it correctly, then yeah.
We don't have a hope. We don't have any chance here.
We're just pretending.
Yeah. So do I.
Yeah, some questions here. Doug's asking, it's mainly for people who are making money. That's what the Part 107 is for, yes. But the hobbyist test is going to be for people that want to fly. So that is changing in the very near future. And one of the questions, it's ruining the 250 gram Mini. You're going to have to pay $5. Well, if I use my Mini commercially, I have to pay $5. Somebody in the chat, was it Mike again? Yeah, Mike, he flies his Tiny Whoop professionally, yeah, you would have to register that. So if you're using it as a professional tool, you register, you pay. It doesn't matter the weight. But if you're just flying as a hobbyist, that's different, right? You don't have to register under 250 grams.
Oh, it's funny. So more restrictions in ways in the US if you are professional, and the UK going much more logical. You actually get freedoms with more certification.
Exactly.
There is right now, though, I don't think most people realize this. The one reason to get the Part 107 right now that I think is I mapped out, in the Chicago area where we live in the suburbs, how many, the US is so restrictive, and people don't realize that you're always within 5 miles of some kind of airport or helipad or, some farmer even out here who's got some landing strip or balloon launch or some nonsense. And if you're not, so you look at the map for hobbyists and there's like little green spots where you can fly versus commercial. There's like 3 airports in a 50-mile radius. So very different. I don't think people realize that. People don't follow it. We do need rules that people can actually enjoy the hobby and follow and be safe. And so hopefully we'll be getting there soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Very cool.
If you haven't, Sean's got a great video on how to avoid getting arrested flying your drone. It's a quality one. I actually watched, I've seen parts of it, but I sat down and watched it in its entirety today. It's entertaining, but there's a lot of really good sound advice. It's kind of like, use your brain and don't escalate a situation with the cop. It's just, it never ends well for the person that doesn't have the badge, I think.
No, indeed. And it's one of those situations where sometimes you can't avoid the confrontation, of course. We've had interviews with some of the pilots who over in the US who have been arrested for flying their drone, despite the fact that they're flying perfectly legally. Yeah. Thankfully, in most of those cases, things turned out very well for them in the end. But yes, it is certainly my personal sort of advice that it's good to walk away and perhaps go back and complain to that police department, that type of thing, and raise the issue that way, because again, once you hear the clink of those cuffs, you're really on a hiding, and it is a very difficult thing to talk yourself back from. You're then defending yourself from a very negative position, which is but I would say for anyone that watches that video, the police officer is actually one of my best friends, and he's an actor. And if you watch much British drama, which of course I know some Americans do, he's in the background of quite a few British police dramas there in his police uniform, sort of earning his daily wage for standing there looking good. So
that's funny.
Fantastic. That's good stuff. So Sean, what is your drone of choice?
My drone of choice. You see, this is changing. This year, it has been all about the Air 2 for me. A fantastic little drone. As someone that approaches drones from the hobbyist side of things, it's incredible. It does everything I need it to do and more. Frankly, it has a better camera than really I know what to do with on a drone, and I'm really impressed with it. However, moving forward, I with the new regulations, I have a feeling the Mini 2 and my Anafi are going to be my best friends, at least for that transitional period, because I'm going to be able to fly those in so many amazing areas compared to what I can now. So yeah.
Yeah, my next question: favorite non-DJI drone? I love the Anafi. It's a great little drone. I've had a chance to fly the thermal Anafi, which is a lot of fun.
Wow. Very
cool. But it's a great underappreciated, I think.
My first drone is actually back here. It's the Bebop, the original Bebop one. Yeah. Which I had with the huge controller. You remember the huge controller?
The Sky controller, yeah.
I love that. I have to say, when I upgraded to the Bebop 2, and I was in love, and I still have a very warm spot in my heart for the Bebop 2, because it was always very stable for me. That drone never let me down. I was able to use the same controller. And there was a lot of affordability in stepping up to a newer drone, but then the first Mavic Air came into my life, and DJI got its hooks into me.
You know what, that Bebop, the Bebop. I've never flown the original, just the 2, but the electronic image stabilization on that was fantastic. You would take the whole drone and rotate it upside down, and the image would stay still. And for years there were Chinese companies putting out just garbage drones for 200 bucks, like shaky cameras, and finally MJX has started to make something with electronic image stabilization, but it's the camera on that is still not on par with the Bebop. And the Bebops, that's what, 2015, 2016 technology.
Yeah,
so, Parrot had it a while ago, and if they could have,
it's a real shame to see them dip out of the consumer market, because I think if we could have had an Anafi 2 or maybe an Anafi 3, especially because of the lightweight design, I think we could have seen a real competitor for DJI there. I know Parrot went through huge changes on the finance side of things, and it's good to see them still kicking and screaming on the commercial side. But yeah, it is a shame. But I love my Anafi. I liken it to a dragonfly, because the DJI is very calm when I put it up the air too. It's very calm. It's very, okay, I know exactly where it is, exactly what it's doing. With the Anafi, I feel it's much more twitchy on the sticks, and which is good fun to fly. And of course, the camera being able to rotate fully up 90 degrees is also a cool trick for videos as well.
Yeah, I found I've always been hunting for use cases for that. They are somewhat hard to find. The Air 2, for example, and the Mavic Pro and Zoom have a ton of lookup angle. They have really all you need for 99% of the situations. The Mini's a little light, but decent little lookup angle too. What I loved about the Anafi was, it's I don't need, what did they call it? Cameraman. It's like the spotlight, and it worked right off the bat. It was really about a year or two ahead, I think, of the DJI products and its usability and functionality. And it obviously still works like the Anafi. It's too bad they're out of it. But with this DJI stuff, who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
Maybe the folks at Parrot are seeing this as a Christmas present.
There may be some people burning the midnight oil in Paris right now, with the Anafi in one hand and the Anafi USA in the other hand, and thinking, okay, what do we do here, people?
Glass of champagne and some cheese.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
I realized I had the Anafi thermal sitting on the shelf over there, so
cool.
It's fun. Now that it's getting cold out here, we'll have to try that. Speaking of lookup angle, this is the Skydio has the same capabilities, right? And
this is where you get me jealous, you see, because we still can't buy that here.
Really?
So,
you can barely buy it here.
I realize you can't really buy it in the US either. It's for a lot of people, but at least you can place an order. It's a bit like the Cybertruck. I was astonished. I was very early on the pre-order list for that, and but then they decided that it's just too big for the UK roads, so they're going to bring out a Cybertruck Lite, essentially, for the UK roads. And I don't know, there's just something about buying the light version that isn't, doesn't fill me with as much excitement. I was imagining the back door of the Cybertruck opening up and my drones coming out of there and flying off and capturing amazing footage. But perhaps I'll I think they're going to call it the Wolverine or something. So that's quite a cool name.
That is cool. Yeah, that makes up for it.
Yeah,
if they sell that, maybe I'll get. I don't know that the big guy will fit in my garage.
Well then it's the perfect size.
We get hail around here. I think those windshields don't really quite take the steel balls quite like they're supposed to.
No, indeed.
Anyway, what else we got, Jack? We still just going? Just keep going with some.
Yeah, I don't know. We wanted to ask you. All right, so one more question, right? With Christmas around the corner, what would you recommend someone as a first-time pilot? They're looking for a drone. They're not really sure what they don't know what a drone is, right? They're cool. They fly. They have cameras. What should I buy? What would you recommend? There's so many different trains of thought. I like to ask people.
There is. I would say that it would of course depend on whether whether they're more attracted to the FPV side or the camera drone side. But certainly from my channel side of things, it would be camera drone. And I don't want to be cliche, but the Mini 2 if you can afford it, is a really great place to start. Only because it's extremely safe. You're not going to get yourself in too much trouble. And OcuSync on such a small drone is phenomenal. But I would also say buy one of the cheap sort of mixed branded indoor drones so that you can practice and get the muscle memory and that type of thing, because you also tend to be able to bring the indoor ones between acro and GPS and some kind of stabilized, hover stabilized, and it's good to practice it. So
I see a SEMA X5 in the chat. You know, the eSheen E010, they're like $20. They're great. Looks like we got another visitor on the stream tonight.
He was over there whispering in my ear. I think he had an opinion on the matter. What drone did you want for Christmas, if you could pick?
I don't know.
Was it the Mini, the Mavic Mini?
Inspire 2.
Inspire. Yeah, well, you know, I think his neck could still actually be taken off by that thing. He needs to bulk up a little bit.
Yes.
Oh, good stuff. Good to see you, Gabe. Thanks for joining the stream.
Yeah, you know, I was just thinking, Jack, you know, if you wanted to get photography and get into that, I think I'd have two answers. I'd get a $50 drone or $20 drone just to learn all the controls, full manual control, get super comfortable crashing into the walls inside your house. And, you know, we've got a ton of content out there on like the $200 drone market that takes mediocre at best video, but you can fly it around, get a sense of some of what it's like to have a drone that stays put, you know, with GPS and get comfortable with that as well. There's one right there. That's a good option, right?
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to drop a video on this tomorrow, but you know, this is the FIMI A3, and I think it was just under $300 when it released. Now you can pick one up for $225, and that's a pretty good deal. It's got an actual gimbal. I was flying it yesterday and the day before I actually crashed into a tree and it landed in a pond. But actually that was 2 days ago because I let it dry. But it and it still works. But it like the follow me on it is rock solid, and I can adjust it. You know, it's really good. You'll have to check out the video. But yeah, for $225, I think that's a really good place to start. Like, it's not professional quality, right? I'd still, again, the Mini, the Mini 2, it's beautiful, but you know, this is great.
If you're not comfortable, right? Yeah, I'd say if you're not comfortable, something like that's a great option. Or if you don't have the money yet, but you're not going to really earn much money getting video out of some of these drones until you get to the original Mini. Would be probably your cheapest money earner, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
If that's your thing.
What else do I got hiding back there? I got lots hiding back here.
My wall got a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
So we're upgrading the studios. I need another chair and mic. Oh, for this guy. Yeah. Gabe, you want to be a regular participant?
He's got to be more talkative, though.
He's somewhat at a loss of words at times.
Now, which is interesting because I know this little character. My children are going to be disappointed and upset that Gabe was featured on the stream and they weren't. They want to be YouTube famous too.
Excellent.
Well, Sean, I appreciate you taking the time. We know it's late over there, so we're gonna let you go. But we appreciate it. Great channel. I've got a link to his channel in the description down below. Geeksvana, check it out. Great content. He does tons of live streams too. Good stuff. So
too many recently, but yes.
It's been
thanks a lot, guys.
It's been great having you on. We'll meet again soon and get some sleep.
Thank you very much. I will.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
All right. So that was fun.
Hey, we're still on, buddy. We're still on.
Yeah, we're still on, little man. Why don't we send him to bed?
Seriously.
Yeah, we got a couple other things. You know, so we did talk about how you know, we're giving away Banggood gift cards. Why? Because Banggood's having a sale and they wanted us to promote it. So we said, sure, but you got to do something for our people. So not only we did just have Sean on, not only are we giving away gift cards, but we also have some different codes that they gave us for some specific items. These are some different things, right? The Beta FPV Meteor 65 kit is a great all-in-one package, right? Chris, you were just talking about this the other day, right?
Yeah. I mean, Jack was doing a best drones for Christmas video, and I'm like, dude, you got to get some FPV kit in there. What is the latest and greatest? You were telling me it changes every month or two, what the best deal is, what the best quality is for your money. But how much is this kit?
I want to say it's I think it's like $275 with 6 batteries. I think that's the most expensive it gets. I think it's like $250 with, I think, 3, but you get the drone, the remote, a case, goggles, charger, extra props.
And it's just ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's huge. If you're looking to get into this hobby of FPV, guys, a remote control can cost that much money. A drone, obviously. The goggles can cost. What's your most expensive pair of goggles?
The Orcas, gosh, those are like $600 plus.
Yeah. So if you're looking to get
like
into
$100 when you get out the door with the Orca.
If you're looking to get into the hobby, it's a great place to start, right? And I guess my next question is, Jack, can I buy that if I break my drone? What's that? Another 50, 70 bucks?
So yeah, you can fly. The remote that it comes with is actually a really decent remote. It's the Beta. I think it's called the Beta FPV Light Remote 2 or something, but it's a Taranis FR Sky. It's an FR Sky protocol, so you can fly other drones with it, right? You could buy another different tiny whoop. You could buy anything that flies on that protocol. You could buy a 5-inch, like some of these that are behind me on the wall here. If I didn't ruin them, you could fly them with that remote. Those goggles will work with other drones, right? You can upgrade different parts of that kit at different times if you want. So it is a really good starting point. So I asked them for a code for that because it's a good one if you're looking to get into FPV, and you don't have to worry about Betaflight, right? It runs silverware firmware, so it's basically plug and play and fly, right? So that's cool.
All right, what else you got up there?
The Thinking P16, I think that's on the wall behind me somewhere, but that's a tiny whoop with DJI's digital FPV system. So if you're looking for a digital tiny whoop, that is a really good one. Beta FPV makes a couple, but that Thinking P16 is probably my favorite digital whoop that I've flown right now. Incidentally, that one I actually dunked in a pool. Flying acro in my backyard. I had one of those little kiddie pools over the summer and dried it out. 2 days later, fired right up. It flew, right? So that was fantastic.
Cool. We got a Radio Master.
Yeah, the Radio Master that's the radio you want. It's multi-protocol. It'll fly pretty much anything you want it to fly. The gimbals are nice. They start at like $100, $250, depending on which model you want. The Hall sensor model, which I think is probably 120, 150. I'm not exactly sure, but 12% off right now, which is a steal. And then, of course, the Xiaomi Fimi A3. I've been really flying this one quite a bit the last few days, and I think for about $200, this is a little bit more, $225 right now. There's a code, again, links in the description for this. But for $225, this is a really good beginner drone. One of the things, and I'll talk about it in the video that I release tomorrow. The remote, which I have here, you can see it has a screen. There's no app for this. You just fly it, and that is really nice. You don't have to worry about your phone dying. You don't have to worry about connecting to the Wi-Fi. It just works.
It's an analog stream, but we flew it out quite a ways. It did great, and it records, obviously digital video on a card on the drone. So it's kind of like one of these hybrid deals where you get analog feed, but good. How's the video off of it look? Pretty good.
Yeah. I think that video looks pretty good. We talked. I think our particular camera is a little bit the focus is set to be too close, right? So it looks really sharp up close and not as nice far away. But you know, I kind of searched the internet to see if we're just lucky, and it turns out we are. So, you know, most people's cameras seem to be a little bit better than ours in terms of how the focus was adjusted. You know, maybe we can unscrew the lens and, you know, tweak it a little bit. But, and, you know, Chris mentioned that it's analog. I actually flew this with my FPV goggles, right? Which is neat. It's a fun experience. It's not quite the field of view that you want when you're flying FPV, but it's different to have that stabilized, you know, that camera is tilting when I'm tilting. So it's different, but still pretty fun.
And it's certainly, yeah, again, like if you're comparing it to DJI, right, you can get a cheap pair of box goggles for like $30 and, or, you know, and then you have a goggle experience to see what that's like, as opposed to needing, if you want to fly a Mavic with goggles, and then that's going to cost you many, many hundreds of dollars. So very different kind of thing you can get into. Now I have another visitor. This one meows. All right, so that's our deals.
Yeah,
you know,
so that's cool. All right.
Before we do the giveaway, I mean, I think we're ready to announce a couple topics coming up on live streams. We've had some questions that I think are too long to answer, and we need a little research. I think what we could do, Jack, is so the next one I think is clear. We're going to go through in detail how to register your drone, what drones need to be registered, and how you do it, how much it costs. Maybe we'll even do one live. Heck, it doesn't take that long. I think we need to get a little caught up here anyway, Jack. So we'll go over that, and then in January, when do the new rules come out, Jack?
So remote ID is supposed to come out the day after Christmas, okay, I believe. And I think the hobbyist rules drop January 1st, but I'm not 100% certain on that.
So depending if there's a really good information to share from the FAA, maybe that'll be our next live stream. If not, we'll just go over the regular old registration process, something like that.
For sure. All right. So we're going to play a game. We're going to play a game to win $100. And here are the rules. I'm going to throw a link in the chat here in just a second. And we're going to take the first two people in. And they're going to be our two contestants. And those two people will vie for the gift card. That we have 3 questions. You're going to need to be able to turn a camera on. So you got to have a smartphone or a computer nearby with a camera so that we can see your answers. You're gonna ask you a question. You're gonna write your answer on a piece of paper, and I'm gonna ask you to show your answers. And we're gonna keep score. Winner gets a gift card. Sound like fun? So this is not just for our Patreons. We gave our Patreon the gift at the beginning. This is for anybody watching. So any of the 43, 48 now viewers that want to play, we'll take the first 2 people that jump on that link. So you just got to jump on that link, and we will see you pop up in the stream. If we get 2 people on here, we'll play. Now the questions are drone related. Like Chris and we had talked, I took the part 107 this morning. I passed with a 90%. We got toxic FPV in the house.
Yeah, and try to keep the language clean, you know, clothes on. Let's keep it kid friendly here.
Because we know there's at least one child here. So we got toxic FPV. Does anyone want to challenge him?
Uh-oh.
Ooh, and Spencer. We've got 2. Okay.
Spencer, we can barely see you. You got some lights there?
Yeah, so go ahead and get your stuff. You get a pen or pencil, and a piece of paper. That's what you guys need. Pencil and a piece of paper, and we'll get ready to go. So you're going to write your answers down. You're going to show your answer when time is up. Judges' answers are final. And guys, thanks for playing. I hope this is fun. We've never done anything like this, so we're gonna see how this goes. All right,
are we gonna add them to the stream, or are we gonna just?
We're gonna add them to the stream. We got We've got Spencer. You guys are no worries. Thanks for joining us. This is awesome, by the way. We'll see how this goes. Okay, you got your. All right, Toxic. All right, before we get going, Toxic.
Yes, sir.
Tell us who are you and where are you from?
Toxic FPV from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Fantastic. All right, Spencer, how about you? Where? Who are you? Where are you from?
Oakland, California.
Awesome. And you're Spencer, I assume.
Yes, ma'am.
Fantastic. All right. All right,
Spencer,
guys.
I'm gonna mute you occasionally here because you just got some tunes playing. So I'm just gonna put you on mute.
Yeah, the kids are in the background watching a Disney show. Hold on one second.
Yeah, no worries.
No worries, man. We got kids. We know how this we know how it works, man. We know how it works. All right, are we ready?
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
All right, here
Good
we
luck,
go.
Spencer.
Good luck to both of you. All right, question number 1. How high can you fly your drone? Now, this is legally, right? Legally, how many feet can you fly your drone under normal circumstances? All right, I see that. What do we got? All right, show us your answer. Toxic, go ahead. I see 400. I see
399. Ooh.
feet. You know what? I think technically they're both kind of right. So I'm going to give them both a point. 399. He doesn't want to go. Can you actually fly at 400 feet, Chris? I don't even
I thought it
know.
was below 400.
Yeah,
I think
it's a ceiling. It's a ceiling. So there's 399. But also you could have said AGL, above ground level. So if you got a tower, you can go 400 feet above.
So I said
Yeah,
400 feet.
that's
I
true.
think they're both. I don't actually know who's more correct. So I'm going to give them both a point.
There you go.
So I like what's going on here. So 1-to-1. We're solid here.
Need a harder question.
Now, in what class of airspace can you fly in without having to ask for clearance? Again, under normal circumstances, there are some classes of airspace that sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. We're talking like in general, I don't have to ask for clearance to fly in this airspace. All right, are we ready? All right. Let's see your answers. We got Spencer said A, Toxic said G. The answer is Class G airspace. All right. You know what? Like the airspaces, man. It's
really tricky.
It is tough.
Isn't
All
A
right.
the really wonky one, like up at
A?
40,000 feet?
Yes, A is the way up there.
If you're flying up there, go for it. You don't need to ask either.
All right. The last one was in case we had a tiebreaker. This was closest answer is the tiebreaker, but we'll go. If anyone gets this right, they deserve a point. But how many videos are there in our DJI Mini 2 playlist? You have 3 seconds to guess because you can't look it up. 1, 2, and 3.
8.
What do you got?
8.
Chris doesn't know. All right. Toxic says 7. All right. And Spencer said
4.
4. The answer is 14. We've got 14 DJI Mini 2 videos out already.
Wow.
So, we've been busy. Chris is working on one right now, aren't you, Chris?
I am. We're going to go over accessories. So when all these people get some minis under the Christmas tree, they'll know what to go buy next.
All right. So, Toxic, hang on. Hey, Spencer, thanks for playing. Toxic, thanks for playing. Toxic, hang on here. Chat somewhere here. Toxic, can you go ahead and throw your email? Actually, yeah, throw your email in the private chat for us. We'll shoot you. We'll shoot you an email so that we can get you that Banggood gift card. So you're an FPV guy, huh?
I muted him real quick. I'll unmute him here. There you are.
Yes, sir.
What's your drone of choice?
Normally the Source 1, but right now I've got a Moongoat project that I'm working on.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, good stuff.
All right, I muted him again. The music is making it hard to hear you, Jack. So
okay, all right. So I'm going to copy his email. Just throw it in my
Me
information.
Drone has a funny comment. We've got some latency issues, maybe giving people unfair advantages. He said he sees the answer before he hears the question. Anyway, I don't think we've had any major issues with our stream today. It's been a lot of fun. Can we get
yeah, for sure. So, hey, Toxic FPV, do us a favor. I copied your email, but in case I get it wrong, shoot us an email at drones@halfchrome.com so that we can make sure that we get you that. Drones@halfchrome.com, and we'll make sure that we get you that. Again, I just don't want to, fat thumbs type in the wrong email and send $100 to somebody else that's not you.
Yeah. I'll unmute you for a second there. Sorry, do you want to say something?
I got it.
Very cool.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on. Questions. If you guys have questions for us, things you want us to talk about, go ahead and shoot us an email. drones@halfchrome.com is great way to get a hold of us.
Those questions. I think we've got a lineup for the next couple shows. I'll say there are other shows that do this. I think the difference is we're just going to be real with you. We took a question like, is there any reason why you wouldn't register your drone? And we're going to answer it from a practical standpoint. I think that's going to be a little different. We're also not going to just go on and on about other things that are unrelated or try to sell you something. So there you go. Send us your questions. We'll try to get to them. We're really only doing this once every other week, or maybe we'll go to once every week. So we can't get to them all, but we'll try to get to as many as we can.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't really been paying too much attention to the chat here, Chris. Is there anything on the chat that we missed that we should?
I got a repeat question here. Joe Powers asked, anyone test a new firmware update from DJI? Did it come with a bomb from the Department of Commerce that makes your drone no longer fly? No, it did not. I installed that a couple days ago. I did a lot of flying today to test out some filters and noticed no difference in the drone. It works great. Always works great. The upgrade was minor. They said there were some connectivity issues associated with some interference that they've resolved and some inability to fly that maybe some people were having. I never had any issues. So in general, doesn't change anything. Flew fine.
Yeah. Quick question. What do you guys think of the logo, the Half Chrome logo? We're still in the works, but it was something like this, right? And now we're moving to something a little bit more modern, perhaps. So, just throwing it out there, seeing what you guys, you like.
Yeah, we're doing some upgrades for the new year. I'm doing a new studio. I'm ahead of Jack on that. So took down all the drones. Gonna be redoing stuff. I've got uniform background. Finally got myself a green screen. And then I'll have some other stuff going on other walls too. So that's going to be cool. And we're upgrading the logo. We're finally paid somebody. I did our last logo in Microsoft PowerPoint.
He is a whiz at the PowerPoint. But
I push PowerPoint to its limits. I do not know the Adobe products. But since that's what I do at work all day, I know some more tricks than I'd like to say. So, but yeah, it's time to upgrade a few things around here, get a little more professional. So there's our logo. Let us know what you think.
Yeah. And don't forget, guys, we've got, obviously video dropping tomorrow. The FIMI A3. I actually pushed it out to our Patreons this evening. So if they get a sneak peek. We've got a Patreon. It's Half Chrome. It's Patreon/Half Chrome is the deal. Link in the description down below, of course. But I push out the videos early. If you're a VIP Patreon, you get entered into a drawing for extra stuff. We give away a drone once a month. This is actually we already did that. We gave one of these coupons to or coupons. Gift cards to a Patreon. So yeah, definitely has its advantages. And it's a way to support the channel. Really, that's what it is. Just a way to show us some love. So anyway, that's all I got. Chris, you like the my Christmas sweater? It's my favorite Christmas character.
Yeah, looking good. Looking good. We had a question there about the hat logo. I'm gonna just to prove that I do things in oh man, what happened to my screens here? In PowerPoint. I was just trying to share my screen.
The hat logo. That one? Is that what we're talking about? That's the old logo.
There we go. There it is. There's our square logo. This is again engineered by myself, as you can see in PowerPoint. But we're gonna have a professional clean it up for us. But there you go. That'll be our new rectangle logo. Still chrome.
It's coming. Sneak peek for our live stream viewers.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good times. You got to just stop sharing your screen. All right. Well, that's all I got, Chris. You got anything else?
It's been our best show. I like the Q&A. I like the guests. It's great. I mean, you just get a British guy and it's just fun. It's good times.
Absolutely. Awesome. All right, everyone. We're signing off. Good luck and happy flying. Do we sell gear? Oh, we do sell gear. We've got we've got a whatchamacallit, a merch store. It's at the bottom of all of our videos. So
if you want to be
updated, if you like the current logo, that we do have some T-shirts there and whatnot. But we'll have some merch with the new fresh logos when they finally get finalized.
We also have a new kind of abstract drone part of our logo that's going to be coming into the mix. So we'll probably have some versions of the shirt with just the drone, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also, my day job, I got some students that run businesses, and one of them, they're artists designing T-shirts. So I told them once I get my logo, I'm going to make them arts it up.
Yeah. So we'll have some more stuff for you guys. Hopefully, I don't think we've sold a single T-shirt yet. So you could be the first one. Get the retro. We'll leave the retros up there, a couple of them, right, Jack? But yeah.
Absolutely. I tried to order one for my son, but they don't make children's sizes.
Bummer.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us this evening. It was a lot of fun. Take care.
See you guys next time.